Let's go. Shit on time. There you go. We got see everything coming.
Run his big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this.
Allow Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense.
Gervonta Tank Davis is pushing his training to the next level, going to war against heavyweights ahead of his clash with Jake Paul. Davis isn't holding anything back. He's trading shots with men far bigger than him, and in one session, a heavyweight reportedly looked shaken after Tank landed a thunderous punch.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring his big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. I'm like,
The footage says it all. Tank is blasting through heavyweights with sharp, explosive combinations. Known for his knockout power at lightweight and super lightweight, Davis is showing that size doesn't limit his force. His rhythm, head movement, and precision counters are keeping even much larger opponents off balance. It's clear, he's fine-tuning not just his power, but his endurance and composure against bigger men. Exactly the test he'll need Aga.
Far in between here.
Look like you're playing pool with a short stick.
Far in between here.
Fall in between them. Punch when he punch, yeah. Punch when he punch. Punch when he punch. Yep. They ain't stopped firing. We slowed down. Now we're gonna commence firing again. That's what we do. We reload and come back. Yeah, you ain't gotta get close, Tank, because we know you're scared to get close. Get close, Tank. Keep rolling, Cal. All the way down the road. Come to me, baby.
Despite the massive weight difference, Tank keeps pushing himself. These sessions aren't about bullying heavyweights, they're about control. He's learning how to manage distance, break tempo, and keep his explosiveness under pressure. His camp says it's all about neutralizing Jake's biggest edge, size. By facing heavyweights and sparring, Davis is stripping away the fear factor before fight night even begins.
Here's a clip of Gervonta Tank Davis releasing footage of him training and sparring with the heavyweight ahead of his showdown with YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul that's set to take place November 14th in Atlanta, Georgia at the State Farm Arena. Tank Davis is 5'4" and he weighs in at 135. His last fight, he actually was 133 pounds. Jake Paul is 6'1" with a 76-inch arm reach, and he weighed in at 199 pounds his last fight, and fight before that, he weighed in at 224 pounds. Gervonta Tank Davis has a 67-inch arm reach. This is why this fight has to be ruled an exhibition and not a real professional boxing match, because no boxing commission would sanction it. Let me know what y'all think about this. As you see, Tank Davis is using and working on movement. Let me know. I'm gone. Peace.
Former UFC star and analyst Chael Sonnen made it clear, Tank isn't just fighting for himself. He's fighting for boxing's credibility. Sonnen said, Jake Paul has brought attention to the sport, but it's Tank's job to remind people what real boxing looks like for Sonnen. This isn't just a fight, it's a statement. A knockout won't just be a win. It'll be Tank sending a message to the world about the difference between hype and elite skill.
Which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I have an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. we were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched him weigh in. I want to say it was like 8 pounds.
As fight week gets closer, reports confirm Tank has been sparring multiple heavyweights with full intensity. His team says the goal is simple: make camp harder than the fight itself. Against larger men, Davis is sharpening his reflexes, improving head movement, and learning how to generate maximum power against bigger frames. By the time he steps in with Jake, Tank expects the challenge to feel lighter than his training. Respected trainer Teddy Atlas has also weighed in, calling Davis one of the most powerful and skilled fighters in the game today.
Do have one guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter. He can punch, and he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling, and that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if? What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're going to find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha. That's what's going to sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't. I know I get to places that other people won't go and everything else. They just dismiss stuff because it's easier to do that. It's safer to do that. You don't have the bows and arrows coming at you from people that argue with you because you did that. But I don't care. I've had bows and arrows my whole life. I don't care. But that's true. That what if? What if this guy who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air. Bang! And he hits him. Sid Terrace was a great fighter. No, not the 1700s, but years ago. And Cus D'Amato told me he loved Sid Terrace. He said, Teddy, he used to jump up in the air and hit you with 3 jabs. I said, whoa, man, Sid Terrace. All right. Anyway, look, I can't finish without saying that it did invoke some memories and thoughts that we've been here before in a different way, where Jake Paul's brother fought Mayweather. That's not forget. And I'm not saying I like that either. I mean, first of all, Mayweather was past his prime. He was already retired. He was older, everything, but he's still the great Mayweather. And Mayweather was fighting a guy, what was it, 50-pound difference, 60-pound difference, whatever it was. And that size made a difference. It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense.
Atlas dismissed Jake's supposed size advantage, saying, Tank has fought every style there is: counterpunchers, pressure fighters, taller opponents. Jake hasn't. People asking what if Jake lands. Don't understand. Tank knows how to adapt under pressure. That's the difference between a real fighter and an entertainer. Sports analyst Max Kellerman offered a more personal perspective.
And even though Jake Paul tried to egg him on and try to goad Gervonta Davis on, he's dealing with somebody that is not a quick-witted, thinker. He's not a quick-witted speaker. Tank Davis is explosive in the ring. He's fast and powerful in the ring. He's charismatic inside the ring when he's punching. But when you put a microphone in front of him, he's not articulate. He doesn't know how to quickly respond to people. He stutters a lot. He does more stuttering than talking. So Gervonta Davis in front of a microphone is not going to sell. So Tank Davis shouldn't be put in a podium like that. He should have speakers for him. He should have someone talking for him. He should have a mouthpiece. Tank Davis is not going to sell this fight. And Jake Paul knows it. That's the reason he kept throwing jabs at him. He tried to get Tank out of his shell. Tank's not quick verbally enough. He's not quick-witted. He's not quick with the tongue. So in order for him to sell this fight, he's going to have an adversary that can spit something back. Like, for instance, Chavez Jr., he didn't have that quick-witted response, but he had the backing. He had the loyal following. And Chavez Jr., like many Mexicans, don't need to speak because they do all their fighting in the ring, and people know that. Tank Davis, I don't know, man. He didn't look good in his last fight. He's not fighting the killers in his division. People are getting off that Tank train, and we know that he's had his issues outside the ring. The love's not there anymore. Tank Davis is losing a lot of passion, a lot of followers, and people aren't buying this circus that Jake Paul's trying to sell. And I'm glad that people are getting off this train. The commission in Georgia got off this damn train. That's why they had to move this fight to Florida, where anything could happen.
You got a guy like Gervonta, who I personally think has been checked out for way longer than this last fight. I think he was checked out prior to the Roach fight. I thought this was all going to be in the works, where he was supposed to beat the 16-1 Roach and then go on to fight Jake Paul and then call it a career, because I think the people around him understood there wasn't much left in the tank for him in terms of his want or his desire to be here. He did an interview with Dan Canobio about 18 months ago where he was like, yeah, man, I just kind of want to raise my family. I don't know how much left of boxing for me. I don't want to see a therapist. I want to, I need to, but like, I don't want to take away from my fighting. But I think it's time for me to do stuff like that. So I think the writing has been on the wall for Tank for a while. So that draw was kind of just like, I was on the way out anyway. I don't need to go back in there. And I said it at the end of that fight. I'm like, there's no way we see that rematch. He was so uncomfortable in that ring with Roach. He doesn't want to feel that again. He showed that night. So I'm not surprised that fight's not happening. I'm not even surprised he's fighting Jake Paul now. It's a cash out.
Noting Tank's motivations go beyond the ring. After years of nonstop title fights and grueling camps, Davis reportedly wanted a big spectacle fight, one that secures his financial future and gives him more time with family. For Kellerman, this Jake Paul bout isn't just business, it's a transition. It's Tank cashing in on years of dominance while reminding the world that when the gloves come on, he's still one of the most dangerous fighters alive.